just all the indicators are gone. So this is just a plain and simple chart that you're seeing here. Let me block the other one. So there's no indicators at all. This is just a 2-minute chart. So you're seeing right now, just 2 minutes. Okay. And here's where the session starts. 9:30. That's where we start. This is our starting point. Okay. So right now, none of this has happened. So we only have access to this information here from the past and, what the index has done during the overnight session and so forth. But before I get you started, I want you to see that every single level that I post, it comes out of either the market profile. So everybody follow me on that? So you don't necessarily have to start digging deep into the market profile because I do that for you. All the levels that I create, they are based on something related to the market profile and something related to the volume profile. And I explain. Just so you can see. For example, this is one profile here. I know a lot of people understand what market profile is. I'm not going to get into a lot of details because this is not what the class is about. I just want to show you how I trade my levels and what I look for. And, the rest of the stuff you can basically, I can send you some information or you can read about market profile and volume profile. But at the end of the day, I can't teach you that in 2 hours. It's almost impossible. So we're going to start with the plan. So this is basically, this is my trade plan right here. And all the weekly levels that you see here are basically weekly levels that they don't change. They stay static, okay? Weekly level here. I put a lot more work into the weekly levels that I do because obviously they're very important. So we got a weekly level over here. We got a weekly pivot over here. I want to highlight this particular one here. So when I post the plan, I basically tell you, hey, on the weekly plan, every single zone in the weekly plan is a reversal zone. You can trade off any one of them. On a daily plan, I tell you to look for reversals at zone 2 and zone 3. That's basically the way I look at it. Because you have the best probability to get some points, a good bounce out of that zone. And normally between 5 to 10 points. It all depends how greedy you want to be with your trade. And I'll show you an example of that right now. So even if you bought the daily pivot today, you got about 8.5 points right there. From here to here. That was basically, if you were trying to go long from pivot, you had the opportunity to at least set your stop to break even if you didn't get any points. But you can see that the weekly TP1 level is right over here. And like I said before, TP1s, TP2, and TP3s on the weekly levels, those are reversal points. All three of them, including the weekly pivot. The reason why I put the pivot here is because I knew that if I took a long, at least I'll have an opportunity to move my stop to break even, or at least get 5 points or 7 points, whatever your desired target at that moment is or was. So very clear. There are two different things. You can trade off from both of them, and you'll be totally fine as long as you don't get too greedy with your trade. If you are in between weekly levels and daily levels, and you have, patience, the price will get to one of those weekly levels targets. It will, because those are the strongest levels, and normally the market's going to follow that. So any questions about, the numbers and where they come from? I just told you they come from market profile and volume profile. I cannot teach you that today because this is not what this class is about. But when we talk about market profile, I'm going to give you an idea. There's a couple of key elements in market profile. And so you can, have a point of reference. In here, in my screen here, this is the value area high. This is the POC here, where most of the volume has traded, and this is the value area low. Currently, where are we at? So those are three elements of the market profile and volume profile. Both of them essentially are the same in terms of components: value area high, value area low, and POC. Those are the three things. Okay. So we're going to start peeling the onion back and talking about, the opening trade. I'm going to tell you I'm going to talk about all the different setups. All I believe is 3 different setups that I trade, or 4 different setups that I currently trade. So we're going to make it very simple. Number 1 is the opening trade. So how many of you guys do the opening trade, if anybody?
I do.
And what do you look for?
For the break?
The break of what?
Well, that's why I'm here.
Okay. So there's a lot of logic that goes in. It's not just the blue line. So I don't want you to get confused. It's just not the blue line. That's not it. Because I don't want people to think, oh, he just draws a line and goes above, go long, go below, go short. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. It's a trade. But the thought process behind it is not trying to guess, where the price is going, but have a high probability analysis to go with. And I will explain what I mean. So for example, when it comes to my daily plans, the overnight session is basically insignificant to me. I only care about 3 things from the overnight. And those 3 things are overnight high, overnight low, and the POC from overnight. And that's part of the information that I record in my plans, because it helps me to understand, the reaction from the overnight traders to the levels. And it helps me to see, whether my levels are going to react when the market opens. And those are things that I pay a lot of attention to. It's over here. All right. So those are 3 components. So overnight high, overnight low, and the POC. So let's start with the overnight high. So what was the overnight high last night? Let's see if you guys are recording information for your trade plans. Anybody? Don't worry about it. I just put it on the screen.
39.34.
Okay, perfect. And overnight low?
38.71.25.
Okay. So it was like right around here. So those two blue lines, let me change the color. Let me just make them, let's just say purple. And that's your overnight high and your overnight low. You obviously don't see the PLC in there, but I'm gonna show you. So overnight high, overnight low. We already got that. Okay. When you do from yesterday, I'll do the profile here. We open at 1800 until 9:30. We get the POC right here, 38.86. Let me make sure that that's correct. Yep. So we're gonna mark the POC with this orange line. So right now you have all the information that you need here in terms of overnight. You got the high, you got the low. So the moment that you have weakness of the overnight low, obviously the price will continue to go down. The moment you got above the overnight high, that just gives you some sort of confirmation that you can stay long or look for a reversal, whatever the case may be. So those are the three pieces of information that I get from the overnight session. That's the only thing that's important to me. Three pieces of information right there. I just gave it to you right over here. So what was the pivot today? Anybody?
39.04.
39.04. Good job. And what was the daily bias today?
Sell the rips.
Sell the rips. Okay, sell the bounces. All right. So let me put the plan right over here, and we're going to examine everything one by one and how is it that I envision that someone will trade it. So we're going to go and look at the pivot right here. So you got that level. So basically what you look for, again, this is a 2-minute chart, so there's really not a lot of information in here for you to go by. If I change this to a 30-minute, you see how it looks here in 2 minutes? I'm going to change it to a 30 minutes. Also, this candle was 0550. The opening of this candle was 0550. So if you're a candlestick chart trader, what does that mean to you? That you basically got a double top, right? Feel free to interact, guys. This is for you. Remember, this is not for me. So every time you see wicks, you're seeing one right here. It's a reaction. The reaction from sellers, the reaction from buyers. So open, close, high, and low. So buyers showed up over here, sellers started showing up over here, and these are the edges of the candle. If you have a candle that closed here and another one that opened right here, pivot is a 5-point zone, okay? Here's 04, so I'm gonna just make it 2.5 and 2.5. This is pivot right here for me. the way I look at it. So in my mind, we have an opening right here. I have to be able to cover this for stop. Yes, I'm looking at it in the 30 minutes. If you look at it in the 2 minutes, it looks a lot different. In the 2-minute chart, this is how it looks. The rejection is right there. And where did the rejection take place? At the weekly TP1 level, which I told you that it's a level that you can look for reversals. Okay. The same thing happened last night. The overnight high was at 34.5 and the weekly pivot was 39.35. So it's just missed it by half a point. So when it gets closer to this area, you need to be alert, because I gave you a couple of pieces of information that you also have to look at it in here. The reason why I have the daily TP1 above pivot at 16 is because this was the daily value area low from the RTH session on the day before. If price was to do this, trade above it, it would change the whole entire dynamic of what I was looking at. And I almost changed my approach today, but I didn't. I stayed true to my bias, because it was very clear to me that the market was very weak. Okay, so what I wanted to see something like this. Back to the open, that will give me some sort of a, idea where are we at in terms of potentially continue to move higher. A break in here by a few candles doesn't mean anything, because these are 2-minute candles. There's really not much essence to a 2-minute candle. I only use it because I'm looking for the wicks. I'm trying to see, what's happening in between, where the sellers showing up, and, what are they doing in that area, in order for me to make a decision. So in the majority of the cases, what I would do is, I will have a sell stop order here. I have to be able to cover minimum the previous candle high, which is right here. And I immediately going to look for targets. I actually did that trade. So it was a 6.5 points for stop. And it was a 38 points. Actually, no, it was a 27 points to target. There's no hindsight here. This is basically the way that it took place. And I want you to see how important it is we cut through the POC. This candle here kind of retested it. If you see the cut right here, this one came back and retested, and it went back down. So if you're in a trade, obviously you want it to hold as long as you possibly can, because the market sometimes will reward people that have a lot of patience, and that's something that I have come to I had to learn to have patience, because sometimes I'm not. But look at the reaction here at the daily TP1, which, like I said before, is not a reversal zone. Yeah, you see some reaction here, but it never went above the overnight POC. which I didn't give you that level. But remember, that's part of the stuff that I do and understanding that I'm in between levels. So what do I need to do? I need to be mindful of the opportunities that are in front of me, because there's a possibility that I get rewarded. And if you held long enough, and your next reward, you could have said, okay, I'm gonna get out of overnight low. But overnight low was actually your confirmation that price was getting below, and it was trading below the overnight low. But you could say, okay, I want to get out at weekly TP2. So how many points was that? You're looking at 33 and a half points. So if you have 3 contracts, whether it's micro or mini, it doesn't matter to me. You can have 3 shares of SPY for what I care. You know, it's just that practice that really is going to make the big difference in your trading. Now, where are we at? Daily TP2. Is it going to get there? I don't know. But the one thing that I'm watching here is one of the confirmations for me that it's not going to get there would be doing this. So the blue line here, the purple line, whatever we decide that color was, is the overnight low that is here. And I have the weekly TP2 target right there below the number 1 and below the overnight low. That's by design. There's a reason why it's there. I didn't know, obviously, remember, weekly TP2, that was just printed last night. Actually, I'm sorry. Weekly TP2 was printed on Sunday. The overnight from last night just obviously happened last night. I did not know that piece of information until this morning. But the TP2 is right there, which I believe I posted it this morning. It had a 20-something points bounce. Right, so let me go ahead and delete this. This is the confirmation. Getting above this is a confirmation that I think the low of the day is likely to be in, and we may not get to 54. But let's talk about 54, what 54 looks like. 54 looks like 55 and a half and 5 points on. This is what a 5 points on means to me. That may not be 5, but it's a 5 points on to me. So it got close here, but not close enough. Okay, so I'm not claiming that it got to daily TP2 because it didn't. That's not there. Your next level of next selling level is this right here. Let me move this way. You have to be able, I don't know where the next candle is going to end up, but initially this is my stop. I might change my stop later, but this is initially what I do. So when you hear people talking about FOMO and, missing out on trades and stuff like that, I don't want you to, overthink it. You're going to have opportunities during the day. And the next opportunity is right here at 70, because it's been trading below 70 for a very long time. It's been trading below 70 for at least 1 hour and 2 minutes. So you have two full 30-minute candles closing below 70. So that just tells you automatically that you're having a rejection at that level. So that being said, you want to be mindful that you might get an opportunity here, and you don't have to rush, to get trades in between, because the key is that for you to avoid trades in this zone. You don't want to trade in this area. Okay? I'm going to make it white. You don't want to trade there. That's the key. That's not what you want to do. Because you're going to get chopped. You're going to get a lot of bits and pieces and misinformation, and you're going to get a lot of things that are probably not the outcome that you're looking for. So it's better to wait for here and for here. And the reasons why I was talking about overtrading yesterday in the channel was because anybody who's trading here at this level, you're wasting your time. The market's trying to decide whether it's going to go here or it's going to go here. That is exactly what's happening right now. Where is it going to go? Is it going to go up this way? Or is it going to go this way? I don't know that. But I wait for a couple of pieces of information. Like, for example, right now it's 12:29. So we're basically like 9 seconds away from the opening of the next TPO. And some of you may know that that is also something that I look at. The opening of the next period is really important to me because it gives me pieces of information that they're beneficial to my trading. And one of those is the 30-minute naked POCs, which I'm going to introduce now as we're talking about this. So TradingView started this PVP profile, which is basically a volume profile, and I'm going to a volume profile that the way that I have it configured is basically the 2-minute candles, 15 candles make 30 minutes in the 2 minutes. Each one of those has a POC. As you guys know, all this, I should change the color of those lines. Let me just change the color. So I'm going to make the POC, I am going to make it, let's just make it white so you can see the white lines. So all the white lines here are 30-minute naked POCs. Let's talk about the session. So where did the price go over here? There was a naked POC over here. Exactly at 03.5, right? Very close to the daily pivot, okay? That was the candle from here, from yesterday at 3 a.m. So that candle left the POC right there. So a good piece of information because I have my pivot at 04. So for me, this is really good. Now, the first candle of the day left the POC at 39.83, below the overnight POC. Okay, so if we are coming down, this is likely to be your first target. You can scale out anywhere you want. You don't have to wait for targets. I'm just basically, the way I do targets is I'm just putting it out there so you have something to look at. Okay. Then you'll see all the white lines. See, this one here was the 10 o'clock, and it got hit on the 11 o'clock period right here. I took that short. And the other one was right here at 73. Oh, It is there, 73. But remember, depending on the platform, you might have different areas for your POCs. So you have to be also mindful of that. So let's take a look and see what's going to happen here. Yeah, you have to be mindful. So I have a POC from the period from 1130. I have it at 74. So I have it in between these two zones here. Look how it got close to 70, not quite, 68 and a half. And you saw the reaction, right? Already, you're seeing the reaction. So by definition, what is at 38.70? And I'm giving you that piece of information every day on the trade plan. So 70, the 77 area, which is I'm sorry, let me look at weekly plan. 70 essentially was, I believe, was the high of the gap. That is a massive gap from 70 to 25. And just happens that 70 is the top of that gap. Okay, so that's why it's having trouble here at 70. And that's why weekly TP2 is right there. So if you are below the gap, the likelihood for the gap to get filled is getting all the way down to that area, which is 25. That's also a target. But when you do this, you say, okay, so let me take a look and see what's going on here. So 25 at 70. Sometimes half gap can also be a target, which is 38.47. But we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. We're going to stick to the plan. We're going to take a look at what we got in front of us. And I believe we might get a nice run up, because I just got an alert that the VIX just gave me a sell alert. Okay, so we're right here. We want to look for a reaction here and see what happens. But this is your next opportunity for short. If you want to be more patient, you say, okay, well, let me wait for this area here, Jesus, and I might want to short this area here because I have a naked POC, and you talk a lot about naked POCs. Remember, depending on the platform that you're looking at, in my AMP trading platform, I don't have that POC. That 1130 POC is actually located at 38.65. Right where this one is. They're almost together, this one and this one. So this is this. My other platform is right there. So I have a double POC right here in my other platform. Right. So here's your overnight low. I just told you that the VIX gave me a sell alert, and you guys can see those alerts. And I think it came out in the Fatman channel, 1235. It says VIX is entering a sell in 5 minutes. Okay, so that means that the VIX is going down, and I'll put that chart over here so you can see it. You know, this is right here. This is where it opened. Okay, and it's trading below the open right now. This volatility is dropping. Okay, and the ES can potentially continue to go up. So we're going to monitor that. Okay. See the collapsing, it keeps collapsing. It just broke down this resistance here, or this support. Now we're below that. If it gets back over here, then this is a low of the day. Okay. So just pay attention to that. I'm not telling you how to trade, but the reason why I got those alerts, in case you didn't know, is like, oh, those Jesus trade those things. I don't trade them, but I track the market and see what the market's doing. And if I'm long, I might hold a little longer. And if I'm short, it's telling me, hey, you need to get the hell out, because the VIX is dropping. So look at this. Look what it's doing. This is a 2-minute candle. I'm not waiting here with a sell order. I'm not waiting with a sell order. You guys see that, right? Not waiting with a sell order because the candle is printing. So I don't have enough information for me to look, it touched the POC that I told you, right? And it's breaking it. And I'm going to show you something in a couple of minutes. Okay. And I was doing this as we were talking, and I'm going to show you something very cool in a couple of seconds. See, if you're long, this is a place where you take your profits. Again, it's giving me a piece of information that I didn't have, and that is the volume profile POC for the daily session today. It's right there. So it doesn't mean that I'm going to take a short right there, because the candle is not even done printing. So I'm not going to front run, what I'm seeing. But I'm going to tighten up my stops if I'm long, which actually I'm from 64 from here. I didn't tell you because it's not part of the plan. But I take a lot of trades that are not part of plan. I also told you that if you're looking to trade over here, you're wasting your time. I'm fully aware that I told you that. But remember, I'm a day trader, and I see setups, and sometimes they develop for me, and I take them and I trade them. But it's not part of the plan. Am I going to do that in 2023? Probably not. Because my goal is to reduce trades. But I want you to see live. I just got out, by the way. I closed my trade. I want you to see the reaction from here, and you saw it live. So is it gonna go down? I don't know. But this 2-minute candle broke above the 38.70. Am I gonna buy it right away? No. Am I gonna go long? No, because look at what's happening now. If I showed it here, this is a 7-point drop that just took place right before your eyes. So I have a POC on this candle's POC is right over here at 67. Is that one of my levels? No. So I'm going to just, see the blue line here? This was right there. Okay. Because I wanted to see what the 30-minute POC was. And you're using that as a reference to get out of your trades. Okay, so that's the live example of a daily trade. So we have a daily level here, and we got a weekly level over here. See how there's overshots? The overshots are anywhere between 5 to 7 points. 4.5. That's an overshot of this level. It just happens that I'm using this POC here as a reference, that there is a possibility that when it gets here, it's going to reject. That's an overshot. Why didn't I have a limit order here? Because if I did to sell, my stop would have been that POC, right? Or let's just call it, in my mind, it would have been 5 points. So it'll be like right there. I might probably still be alive. But I'm not looking for that, because it's what you do is you lose focus when you do that. So my focus is right now on what piece of information it was given to me here. This was a great piece of information. Anybody, what kind of information did you get from here? This is an open question.
Well, for me, I get it as it's a reversal point from the way you explained it. It's a good location if you're going to be looking for something to retrace back down some.
Right. So, Steve, when you look at the composition of a candle, what took place here on the top was what? What kind of transactions took place here? What was that? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. I don't know who said what.
What kind of transactions took place here on this wick?
Selling, it looks like.
selling, right? Those gray candles are actually red candles. Look at that. It's just amazing. So this was just an overshot of this level to get to this POC. This POC give you information. What happened to price below POC?
It fell apart.
Fell apart. Back 15 points. What are the likelihood that the same is going to happen once they hit that? I don't know. You tell me. I had no idea. But I know sellers are here because this is basically footprint that I'm showing you, but I'm showing it to you with candles. Okay? I also told you that the overnight level that was here was the overnight low, 71.5, and look at that. So think about it this way. You know, what did the price go back to? It went back to where the buyers showed up over here. I was one of them. Buyers showed up. Are they going to show up again? I don't know. That's why we got targets. But I'm not taking it long until this candle is done printing. If you're trading in between candles, you're doing yourself a disservice because you should not be trading in between candles. Okay. Now, what else was here that you guys don't see, but I see it? And if you have a TPO profile, that's where the TPO POC was, a 74. It was right here. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to put it here. I'm going to show you this piece of information. And I'm going to post it in, I'm going to post it in a futures channel. So I'm going to show you that. Look for the letter G and see where G ended, right at the white line. That white line is the POC of the TPO, okay? So now look at the rejection here. Those sellers became more aggressive and they're pushing price down. The only chance that you have for a long trade is waiting for at least a double bottom. Okay, because we already below the POC. Let me double check that in my other platform. We are below the POC. So when you look at, and you hear me talking about wicks many times before. See all this wicks right here? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
What are those wicks right here?
Somebody dipped down and grabbed some inventory and took off.
Yeah, but this is all buying, right?
Yes.
Right, this is all buying. What are the chances that when price gets here, those buyers will still be present? I mean, they send the price up about 12 points from there. So there are very good chances. So what do we wait for? We wait for the same kind of development. You see how once it touches zone, it already started reacting. That's how you know. When is it going to get confirmed that buyers are showing up? It would be probably above this line here, for me at least. So look, I'm gonna send out a long order there at 64. 63.73. Let me see if I get filled. Okay, I just got filled. My stop is going to be 60. 59.75. That's going to be my stop. Okay. Why did I go long? Well, remember, I'm just pretend that this is one of the levels. Okay. I just want you to see the reaction. What you should be looking for every time that you are near or at a level. This is what you want to see, and you want to see the same thing. And in here, you want to see people showing up again to buy. And as you can see, the sale started here, intensified. It was a long candle, and the candle got smaller. So if the candle got smaller, what does that tell you?
Had gone over to the other side. I went and put tickets in, and I took my glasses off to write the tickets on. I forgot to pick my glasses up.
So it tells you that sellers are probably getting exhausted. Or there's very little interest in selling below this level. So I bought here. I should have waited for the retracement right here, but I just sent the order just for the heck of it. It's one of those funded accounts anyways, so I wanted to see what's it gonna do. Look at the POC, how it dropped. It dropped here, so that means that it's more selling than buying in this particular 30-minute candle. Remember, each one of these profiles is a 30-minute profile. It's a 30-minute. Just look at it as a 30-minute candle. That's the reasons why I have a program for 30 minutes, because it's a 30-minute candle in my eyes. That's the way I look at it. Now, there's another piece of information that it was given to me in this particular setup right here, the 3 candles right here. 3 30-minute candle. So see the low right now on this candle? If it doesn't break this low, we already broke this high here. So that candle is one time framing high on intraday because it broke above this particular high. As long as it doesn't make a new low, I am going to be in position because I put my stop at 50. I should move it down a little bit. It should be 58.75, not 59.75. So the stop is going to be basically the low of the day. It might get taken out or not, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. But for the purpose of demonstrating what the levels are, this was a perfect. I couldn't ask for a better scenario, and I should have taken a short right there, just to brag about the trade later. Hey, but anyways, it's not about that. So now
they're not in the hall. They might be downstairs.
They told me, the other nurse sent me up.
So
Okay.
from here,
Yeah, she's probably in one of the
if
patients'
it
rooms.
breaks this here,
Yeah. Are you
we
looking
have
for someone in
another 9
particular? Or,
points.
are you looking for someone in particular? Or no?
Okay, I just deleted.
Order filled.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I can't. Yeah, she. My guess is she's in one of the patients. Okay.
All right, so we wait here and see what happens. You know, again, I told you we have another 9 points to go from here, and if doesn't mean it's gonna get there, but from here to here, that's a 20-point trade if you wait for it. All right, so that's basically, this is actually a beautiful setup because it got me talking about weekly levels and daily levels at the same time. And I don't get that opportunity very often to talk about both setups. All right, so the other thing I want to show you, see the reaction, okay? So we were looking at the reaction here. And this is just plain and simple candlesticks. And I don't have anything fancy. The fancy stuff's in my other screen. So we're going to wait here and see what happens. I might get taken out because I took the wrong trade, but I did it for a reason, and I would like for you guys to tell me why do I think it's a wrong trade. It worked the first time, it didn't work the second time, so why was it the wrong trade? Anybody?
I'm not sure it is yet.
Okay, you're right because I haven't been taken out, but I'm on a huge drawdown by 4 points.
Okay.
The reason for that is, Steve, because we talked about not trading in between levels, and I know I have a lot of new people to trading in the room. Maybe not a lot, but a few. We talked about not trading in between levels. And that where patience comes into play. So let me get rid of this line here. This line has no purpose. So not trading between levels is something that is going to help you, and it's going to add shelf life to your trading account. So I got stop out on that trade.
Yeah, I agree. It's going down more. I was just waiting to watch it just because of some prints that were on it.
So that was, in my opinion, obviously that was a bad trade, and I took it. I was hoping the first one didn't work, but the second one actually worked the way that I expected it, which is probably, hey, let me buy here in between and see what's going to happen. The first one, I got lucky. I bought here and it just got over there. I was expecting this first one to get down, but I saw a lot of wicks here, so I'm like, oh, let me just take the long here, see what happens. So here's the daily TP2. Let me enhance this over this way. So right now, if you're not short from here, you're just watching. And I'm going to show you how to really buy. I know we are going down. I can see it that we're dropping, right? So 54, 2.5 is 60, 56.5. 2.5 is 52.5, 51.5. There you go. You're not short, you're just watching, okay? That's what you do. Don't look at anything. Don't look at Twitter. Stay away from all the people saying stuff on Twitter that we're going to go to 3,700 today, whatever the case may be. Look, I just got another alert. It says that SPY is getting to algo low, right? So SPY is getting to algo low. So the algo zones are reversal zones, right? So very coincidental that, remember, this daily here, I didn't know this was posted at before the market opened. SPY doesn't open until 9:30. So the algo low for SPY doesn't get generated until the market opens. You know, maybe whenever I do the calculations, you know, 2-3 minutes, whatever the case may be. So I like that confluence because that's what I look for, confluence in my trading. I want to wait a little bit. Let me take a look at something here. This is Apex 33. Let me make sure I discontinue trading on that account, Apex 33, because I already passed it. Apex 33. So look at that, selling, and I think that guy Regime, he was looking for 54. So if he's holding, he may get it. He's not in our. So now you're looking at my screen, and we're looking for a reversal in this area. So we're just gonna wait and see what's gonna happen. So now, what time is it? That's another question I got for you. What time is it?
It's It's almost 1 after lunch, or I guess lunch should be over with soon.
Okay. Not only that, Steve, every 30 minutes you get a new period.
Okay.
So I'm not buying this. It got to my buying zone. Would you agree with that?
So I do.
Anybody?
Yep.
Would you agree with that? Got to the buying zone. I drove. The zone is right there. It's a 5-point zone, like I told you guys before. But because the new TPO is going to open in 1 minute and 11 seconds, I'm just going to wait and see what's going to happen. So you're not seeing any other indicators here. I don't use any indicators anymore. I only use the volume profile you see here. I draw my lines and I just go with my business, you know. I think Dwight uses the HMA. HMA, I believe he uses the 21, I believe. So right now he should not be looking for longs. So we're gonna wait and see what's gonna happen because I'm giving you a live example. This couldn't be any better. That's why I chose market hours. Okay, the new TPO just opened. Look at the load here at 55. Look how it took off. Okay, I took a long just to show you something. I'm using the 30-minute candle entry, and this, but it's totally different from the level. It just happened to be at the same level. Where is my stop? The low of the day. So I'm right here at 55. So I'm gonna move my stop 2 ticks below. I'm gonna put it at 55. Okay, 55. I just went long here. Okay, and my entry was 57.25. 57.25 right here. That was my entry. What is my target? It's automatically is right there. Where is my stop? Because this was a 30-minute entry, my stop is going to be 55. Okay? Live trade. After 3 points, my Ninja Trader is going to move the stop to break even. And remember, I'm doing a Apex account, so whatever I move up, it's gonna count towards my trailing drawdown. So I got my stop in place. I'm sure Dwight probably likes this one because it's above the price right now is above the 21 moving whole moving average. So as long as it stay above it, then fine. So now this was support before, it becomes resistance. So I'm mindful that 63 might provide probably some resistance there because that's where the previous 30-minute POC was. So I am going to be mindful of that because that's what happened over here. So I'm telling you a lot about this 30-minute POCs, the 30-minute entry. We just did a 30-minute entry, and we just did it at the reversal zone. So my stop loss here was totally wasted. I wanted you to see that overtrading leads to losing your capital. You have no business, absolutely no business trading between these two zones here. No business. Save your money for taking a long here when you're supposed to. Save your money for taking a short here when you're supposed to. So the only way to know if the setups are going to work is by taking the trades. That's the only way to know. You're not going to get to know by not pulling the trigger. But if you already have 5 stop losses today, you're not pulling the trigger. You're already scared. It's not happening. You're not pulling the trigger here at the speed that this is coming down. You're not. I can tell you that because I'm a trader too. But if you save your ammunition and you keep your powder dry, you may have an opportunity to get, let's just call it 5 to 7 points. And 63 from here, about a 57, this is 5 points.
Oh, good. I'm good. Thank
Is
you.
that the intention for my trade? No, that's not the intention. But I'll take 1 at 5 points, and then I move my stop at 1 point in profits. If it comes back down, it takes me out. At least I got, if I had 3 contracts, I have 5 points or 7 points. 7 points doesn't sound like a big deal, but it's $350. And this was just one reversal trade. The ideal entry is happening now. As you may know, you may have a retest of the level. And we'll see what happens here. If it takes me out, it takes me out. No big deal. But this is where the real entry is taking place. Technically speaking, my stop should be here. It's actually 7 points for me. Normally, 7 points for me. But 6 would do here.
Good. How are you?
I just got a power trade,
Enjoy your lunch. You too.
so somebody's showing up. It could be sellers, could be buyers. I don't know. Are the seller's gonna get tired? I don't know. They keep pressing on. So right now we are at this 70%. Right there will have been probably an entry for me. So we'll see what happens. Let this trade run. Hopefully we can get some good results that we can talk about. You guys see some of those 0 drawdowns, 1 point drawdown trades that I take sometimes?
Yep.
You just witnessed one. If I were to enter where I was supposed to. 56 right here, 56, 56 and a half, low 56, 2 ticks. So these 2 white candles basically are the version of green candle. What are those candles? They're buying, right? Those are buys. I told you there was a power trade that showed up. That's part of my footprint setup that I also see. It's just they showed up exactly at the right spot. So why is the level 54 so important? Why is that level so important? It's in the plan. You have to go back to November the 8th to be able to understand why is that level important. And that was the actual value area high of that particular day. Value areas are basically where 68 to 70%, depending on your setting, of the trading is happening, is taking place in that area, in that particular zone. So all the buying and all the sellers that created a transaction in that area fell into that 68%. You guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so you're still watching my screen. The trade is ongoing. I bought it right here. So right now we're in drawdown by 1 tick, I believe. The 30-minute candle did not make a new low, okay? The actual low, the 30-minute candle right now is 55.75. The candle before, the low was 55.25. So it did not make a new low by 2 ticks. And let it play out, see what happens. Any questions while we wait for this trade to develop about what I just showed you? Like, this is, for me, this is, I couldn't pick a better time. Any questions, any comments, any concerns? Did not get to 54, but this is where the 5-point zone comes in play. Okay, it's 2.5 above it, 2.5 below it. It's not five above, 5 below, like all the Discord groups out there. Because then you're giving me a huge opportunity to lose money. It's getting wild now. Come on, get to 63. 63 is actually now my target is right here.
Which is what is that number?
70. And I just got an alert that SPY was becoming, what was the alert? SPY is in the algo low zone. So SPY is in that zone right now.
Oh, wait, let me clear you real quick.
Doesn't mean it has to bounce, but I like my chances.
With Prince alone, you're in a very good, close place for it to be where it can take off.
See you, Steve. I took 3 minis, and I'm looking for, I believe it's 9 points. But I'm going to let the play, you know, I'm going to try to get to 69. What a beauty. Another power trade.
Why do you call that a power trade? I must have missed.
Because what I'm getting is, and you're not seeing this, obviously, I'm looking at it in my other screen, is I'm getting the order flow information.
Okay.
In the delta and what's happening in this area here. So the platform that I use, AMP Futures, that uses the provider for my my footprint, calls it a power trade. Which is basically 1,117 contracts were traded within 5 seconds, and the delta of those contracts was 69, meaning that 7 out of 10 contracts were a buy. So look, it's trying to get to that 63 level. That's where we have our naked POC from the previous candle. But right now our position is in profits. I have not moved my stop yet. We'll wait. We wait. Now it's testing the POC of the candle that is printing. We are right at it. See that white line here? That's where we at. The candle POC. We don't want to get below that line. Now what we want to do, that's what it's doing now is exactly what I wanted to see, which is more buyers showing up at POC. So this is the stuff that candles don't show you. You know, where are people showing up? So if you're looking at a 30-minute candle right now, you have no idea where people are buying. I don't have a 30-minute candle, but I have a 30-minute profile that tells me that. So this is a 30-minute candle that is printing. So this was a 30-minute candle here. From here to here, this was a candle right there. I don't know what color, but it was a candle. So we wait. Let it take its course. This is going to be a tough area to break right here. We had two POCs now and there. Tough area to break. So the power trades that I was telling you, it came back to that level, exactly where the power trade was. So you can look at it as a print, Steve. So as a print came up, reacted to it, it's coming back down to retest it. You follow me?
No, it's fascinating to watch this and watch what's going on with the actual prints and the things. It's very, very fascinating.
Yeah, so what you're hearing, you probably, when I call a power trade, you probably got a print.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you get one?
Yep.
Okay. I'm not watching for prints right now, but yeah, you probably got a print at the same time I got a power trade, because the correlation with the ES and SPY and SPX. I'm still in position.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's what I'm reading now. So what am I reading here? Every single 2-minute candle here until here was making a high and a lower high. Okay. So here was your second opportunity to go long. You get your fib from the bottom. You go on the top over here. Here is your 50%, 61%, whatever the case it is, whatever you look for. That was your other opportunity to get long. Whereas normally my target is normally the 41. In this case would be 38.64. But I'm not closing the trade. Oh, but I deleted the thing. I meant to delete the fib. Okay, right there. Here we are.